For breaking news, go to iDiskiTimes.co.za.
iDiskiTV, powered by World Sports Betting. iDiskiTimes.co.za. Mamelodi Sundowns 2, Remo Stars 0. 7-1 on aggregate. Sundowns, remember last week they went to Nigeria. They terrorized this team, scoring 5. But namhlanje bathi no, masithathe izinto kancane. Sihlale ekhaya. Sesibaqebile man. Yabo. One of those games, Sundowns joining the likes of JS Kabeli, the likes of Yanga, Al Ahly. Then remember what happened yesterday. What's the name of that team?
Lupopo. Ikumbuli.
The likes of Lupopo, they are through to the group stages of the CAF Champions League. Power Dynamos.
What's happening, Shane, in the Champions League? All these teams you're talking about, some of them will do mistake not so like about Power Dynamos now.
Yes, in them CAF is that by the time Kyonjali knockouts, we will know who is supposed to be there and who is not supposed to be there. But for now, they will be in the group stages. We have to give respect to them. But Lindo, besibukele Remo Stars and the Sundowns. Mandubulisa mfowethu kunjani?
Shapunjani Shane. I think ngibulisa technical team and ngibulisa out Manchester. Yeah, Shane, a very convincing win from Mamelodi Sundowns. Congratulations to Miguel Cardoso and the players, Shane man. Before man ngisho athi singcenge siphule, sistrip Shane, sihlinze inkomo man Shane.
Lindo Pep.
Shane actually njengoba manje yabona amaningi enza kanje na insight ngathi intwana encane ebamba ibhola embizeni ilishukumisa. Shane, there's 3 players in Africa. There's 2 players in Africa. Master ukuphasa nge-outside foot. It's me and Nuno. Global. Well, think that statement. Shane. Global, Shane. C3. It's me, it's Nuno no Modric. Abakazi ukushaya pass Shane. Inyawoli on the ground Shane. Bese ngathi uliflipa ngesandla. Shane, a very convincing win from Mamelodi Sundowns.
Yeah, but when I call a car, no so. Ukhala no so when I call.
Oh, uyangazi uTsongo left. The only person. Yeah, Shane, that is here. That is for game. Shane, convincing win, like I said, an away performance that was solid. Mamelodi Sundowns, I think they wrapped the game in Nigeria, in my opinion. Like I said, the Mamelodi Sundowns are the haunted Shane. Going into the CAF Champions League group stages, there's 6 games guaranteed. There's traveling there, a well-experienced travel team. Players, seasoned players, they're international players. So you do expect Mamelodi Sundowns to get out of the group stages, even though it will be a difficult journey. Konamanje mawubhekelele Miguel Cardoso in his team. It seems like for me when he started the season as a coach or under pressure, and I don't know why he was under pressure, but I think also losing the Nedbank Cup, I think it put a lot of pressure on him. Losing the CAF Champions League final put a lot of pressure on him. I think he was trying too hard, in my opinion. And Konamanje mawubhekelele Sundowns, you could feel that he's more relaxed, even on the bench. I was saying during halftime that he looks a little bit composed. He understands what is needed from the club. I think Ubobo mentioned something very important, Magati. I think his biggest mandate this season is winning the CAF Champions League. But Mina Ugui enhancer that, I can say also winning the treble. I think for him to actually be one of the counted as one, because coaches come to football clubs and they want to leave the jersey in a better place. If Miguel Cardoso wants to have the impact and he wants to be celebrated at Mamelodi Sundowns, I think he's going to have to win the treble, because just winning the league is not enough at Mamelodi Sundowns, even though the league is the most important trophy. It's the biggest major trophy in any country. But that is in terms of performance. For me, very impressed in terms of the base of the team. The base of the team convinced me in terms of comfortability, in terms of keeping it basic, shape, structure. You're speaking about Utebs, you're speaking about Grand Kekano, you're speaking about Ulentuzu Cupido. You look at those 3 players in terms of the base of the team, and Kuluming spine, because the base is not, the spine is the goalkeeper, the 2 center backs, the defensive midfielder, and the person that scores you 20 goals. But I want to speak about the base. The base makes Mamelodi Sundowns because the base carries the piano, Shane. It's important that the team understands who carries the piano for the team. And I think that those 3 players, in my opinion, carried the piano in Mamelodi Sundowns. You're speaking about Marcelo Allende, when Shane, Ferrero Rocher, Shane. Unbelievable in terms of passing progression today. I think he was one of the most important players in that midfield, because today it wasn't more of a sideways passes, which is something that we normally criticize. Yes, he did not join in the box, but he had a recycling job of making sure that 100% pass completion, progressive passing, keeping the shape, making sure that Marcelo Allende, there's a reason why Shane adlala each and every single game. We might not understand it, but he knows how to play the piano at Mamelodi Sundowns, which is very crucial. You need a player, Shane, that has the ability of playing both feet. Marcelo Allende offers you that. We've got 2 10s. Yes, maybe sales from the wide, but what is important is that we played with 2 number 10s who are very creative in my opinion. Jobang Chela Shane, Ununo, I now want to see him in a game of consequence, Shane. I want to see him in a game of consequence where it matters. But other than that, everything that I've seen so far
the game next week,
is a crucial game for him. I think he introduces himself into South African football if he has a stellar performance against the Pirates, also considering the fact that Orlando Pirates has a strong midfield. So like for like, he's going to get competition there. You're talking about two Sales. Sales has impressed me. I need to tell you, Shane. Sales has impressed me, Shane. And the reason why he's impressed me, he's not a typical Brazilian player that is always on the ball. In this country, sometimes we don't appreciate players that play off the ball.
Yeah.
And I think his biggest quality is that understands where to run. A player that has the ability to interpret the space. I think that's the master that Allende also masters. The ability to interpret the game. Because there's a difference between read and interpret. I think Marcelo Allende knows how to interpret the picture that he sees on a grounding. I think Sells as well in terms of that man running. And then Nuno Zokshange pass Shane. Uzokshange pass Nuno. And one of the reasons why Ushalulile, the difference between last season and this season, and why Ushalulile will enjoy playing against Nuno, is Uribero. You Sales last season. Umshishi is a player that plays in front of the opponent to finish chop with a seat break. Sales normally sometimes last season he would like to drive with the ball, Shane. Uribero sometimes when the pass is available, what he used to do, he used to drive in the box, dribble to eliminate people, maybe take shots outside the box. This guy doesn't delay the ball for Shaluli. He appreciates the run. In football, you need to respect the run. Unbelievable first half from Ushalulile today in terms of, I think he made about, Shane, I like a striker that makes the first run. If the first run doesn't happen, come for the second run.
Completed with the goal also.
Look at that goal. What makes that goal is two details. It's the run Gashalulile that he first drags the defense wide to the left-hand side. He brings them in with the run, Shane. They play that ball inside, but what makes that is a boxing. We always encourage football players to touch in the box. The touch to kill that ball and picks a spot to Nuno. But that goal was made by Ushalulile. You look at even how he uptakes the near post in that corner kicker, Opremudiba. He gave us options up front. For me, my man of the match, in my opinion, today was Upita Shalulile. And number two is that you see when you have a player that doesn't delay the ball, it brings out the best in one-touch strikers, which is like players like Abo Shalulile. Today, hold up player Shalulile was unbelievable. Every time I got drifter wide, he would feed us those balls. Very important, but also, Shane, you have to speak about Matthews. Matthews has become an important player at Mamelodi Sundowns. But I'm going to show something. If Matthews doesn't happen, and sometimes this is what Miguel Cardoso needs to learn, protect football players. Matthews today, he was on and off. I would prefer, sometimes I've been emphasizing this, I would prefer Umaseko on the left-hand side. Based on how we are playing now, Umaseko has the ability of, he's got pace. He's probably one of the most technical players at Mamelodi Sundowns in terms of Kabipola and pinpoint crossing or pinpoint passing from wider areas. He's got a shot, he can score goals. For me, you play him on that wider side. Why? You've got a Nuno who doesn't delay the ball in terms of passing. Anga keep Alumfana on a wider area all the time on an isolated situation. Ushalulile, he can play those balls for Ushalulile in the box.
Last week, I think Sundowns were playing ETDC.
Yeah.
Maseko was there, if I'm not mistaken. It was Mabela last week, but there was also Umaseko where he played ETDC football. It's in Lindo about future yake at Sundowns. Do you think coach yake yamrata so far? Because coming from the first team, Maseko came to Sundowns highly rated. Now you find him playing some minutes with ETDC or even scored. But do you think he's in the plans as a coach?
Ushawai game model. Mamelodi Sundowns Umaseko. That's why I'm saying Coach Rulani understood him. Umaseko, sometimes you need to, sometimes football belongs to the players, Shane. To get the best out of players, sometimes there's certain players that can't play in uncomfortable position. Mamelodi Sundowns plays with wingers that you see the type of wingers are now. Ripero, Sales, Mshishi at times. Mamelodi Sundowns released Duloj. They released Dukodi Sang. Shane. That tells you that they don't want to play with an out-and-out winger because they want to attack Mama fullbacks. So Umdao occupies that wider area, so they want to congest the midfield. So the biggest responsibility sometimes is, if we can't, because in Mamelodi Sundowns, Shane, is very important to mention this, we play 90% of our games in a low block. So sometimes you need that chaos, it was we control. Those short, explosive sprints that happen in terms of break it defense, that combination play. Sometimes when you want to, there's different variations that you need to break a low block. And sometimes going wide and bringing in a cross, it's easy to deal with that ball. Maybe Leon Diamshayo, Marcelo Al-Ulentuz, Umasego. But if we check up players like Aboma and I'm hoping they can get an opportunity. No, Ulitlako, that's why he gets an opportunity. The goal is scores, Ngalia one-touch finish. I forgot the game. I think it was Golden Arosa, if I'm not mistaken. Those are the wingers that play at Mamelodi Sundowns. Wingers that have the ability of playing a double position. Sometimes you're wide, sometimes you're in. Opre, for example, today. Opri has that ability as well, where if Opri is wide, Matthews ungena ngaphakathi azolitasha. Then if Opri lentus and then lentus Matthews on. So Mamelodi Sundowns is a team that is trying to find solutions in terms of break block. I have to give Miguel Cardoso credit before Sivala Shane. The coach is extremely under pressure. But for a club like Mamelodi Sundowns, the stature of a team like Mamelodi Sundowns, Miguel Cardoso and those Mamelodi Sundowns players need to thrive in that pressure. Miguel Cardoso has a huge responsibility. He needs to understand he's going into those group stages as haunted. Mamelodi Sundowns is one of the biggest institutions in Africa. We are one of the best ball-playing teams in Africa. We've dominated teams in Al Ahly in North Africa. We've beaten them 5. We've went to Algeria, Morocco, Egypt, and kept there. We played the same style of play, style of football. We didn't ever change anything. Coach Pito was a little bit smarter. He knew when to defend. I would encourage him and even the Mamelodi Sundowns fan to say, if we genuinely want to win this thing, there's certain things that we're going to have to accept as a football club. Lindo, as a purist, yes, maybe might not accept, but for the benefit of the team, there's certain things that need to be sacrificed for him, because we saw last season that there's things that I felt like Bega Pilivaguzo as a football coach that sometimes let him down. For me, just to encourage him, even if anything happens in this tournament, he needs to understand that if he does not win the Champions League for Mamelodi Sundowns, then he's going to have a problem with that fan base. So this is a huge season for Miguel Cardoso. Another advantage of Miguel Cardoso now is that Bafana has given Miguel Cardoso an advantage. It has given Mamelodi Sundowns an advantage. The fact that we are playing the World Cup this season has raised the level of those players. Pirates is out of ECAF, so it now says to those Mamelodi Sundowns players, I want to play in the Club World Cup. So Mamelodi Sundowns players will be playing semi-final, quarter-final of the CAF Champions League. That gives them an edge. If Grant has a good season, Umdao, I can mention a lot, Abu Adams and so forth. So for me, it's a very interesting season for Mamelodi Sundowns and Miguel Cardoso in this competition.
Well, Lindo, massive. I don't know. Uthi ngaphaya ku Aston Villa. Yazi, Umstenge, I'm so disappointed. I really thought he knows big games, but now he's disappointing me. He's disappointing me.
Is it? Oh, it's 0-0.
Yeah, it's still 0-0.
Okay.
He does a classico.
Best player in the world.
Well, it's not strong like that. Stronger El Clasico. El Clasico ne Real Madrid is still 0-0. But namhlanje, South Africa, we CAF Champions League, there was no 0-0 scoreline. Sundowns beating Remo Stars by 2-0. There were also some goals yesterday. Orlando Pirates beating what's the name of the team? Lupopo 3-0, but went on to lose to penalties. Kaizer Chiefs night Dobsonville winning by 3-1. So even Cup, Cup, what do you call the Carling Cup? Yeah, there were a couple of goals also. Mr. Nke mentioned it half time. Guti Arrows and Tears Galaxy. It was 1-1. Yeah, Golden Arrows winning by 2-1. Richards Bay won yesterday. Yep. There's also the last game on Tuesday where Orlando Pirates will be playing a crash game against Imakis. Yep. Remember Imakis, they knocked them out. Carling Knockout Cup last season. But they meet the quarterfinals this Tuesday. Escotin, go 7:30 or 7 o'clock. Then I'm sure after that game there will be a draw. Yes, semi-finals. Yep. We don't know which is after
the Stellenbosch one on Wednesday. After the
Stellenbosch one on Wednesday. Yeah. Thank you for connecting me. Well, but I'm trying to this is Loftus Stadium. Nalapho Sundowns is betele khona ke Remo Stars of Nigeria go 2-1, 7-1 on aggregate. Sundowns are through to the group stages of the CAF Champions League. Thank you so much for watching iDiski TV.
Shapunjan bafowethu igama lami Lindo Pep, the best analyst in the country. Please don't forget to subscribe to iDiski TV. Tanko.
This is Bongane Benedict Villagazi, they call me so. Niazi bafethu, I'm a coach for life. They are back in winning ways. Please, subscribe to iDiski TV.